Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, 360 Sport. My name is Mudashir Shitu, and in the next few minutes we'll be looking at an interesting and trending issues in regards to the world of sport. And want to focus on today's program is archery. A lot of people will wonder whether this sport really exists in the country. Yes, it does really exist, especially if you are a regular viewer of our programs, 360 Sport. You know that we've brought in prominent persons who has come to talk about archery. And today we are looking at a member of the national team, Nigerian team archery, talking about one of them who has done so well for himself. Of recently, he got a medal in an archery competition in America, where he's based. So I'll be talking today with Shola Demi, who is a member of Team Nigeria on archery. It's good to have you on the show, Shola Demi.
Hi, good afternoon. It's always good to be here.
Yes, it's been so much we need to talk about today, but we're trying as much as possible to look at the time frame to say this. But first and foremost, let's go straight to the fact that March 10th, coming March 10th, there will be a congress, and that's the Nigerian Archery Federation. The embattled president, the man that the World Archery Federation has asked, his last election last year in March was not recognized, and the world body actually has mandated the Nigerian Olympic Committee and also some stakeholders to pass a vote of no confidence, and that circular and that communique we all know is within few hands. And but nevertheless, March 10 is a day of the Congress for the Nigerian Archery Federation. Amongst all these things coming forward, we also know that there's a lot of people saying about the fact that the archery is not really growing in Nigeria under his leadership. But you and some selected people has done so well for yourself. But tell us, as a member, of Team Nigeria, and as someone that is an athlete, tell us so much about what you know about some of these crises.
All right, thank you very much. Currently, the NAFED is having its issue, that is National Archery Federation of Nigeria. Some of the challenges we're having, which is the fact that we have someone who has been in office for the last 9 years. And I can understand that during the time when he started in his first 2 terms, there may have been challenges in terms of athlete participation and all of that. But I also believe that I think he's done his part up until 8 years, and it's important for the next generation of administrators or archers to take up from there. I started archery in 2020 during the COVID lockdown. That was when I started archery, and most of our growth and development has been self-funded, self-propelled. For most highly competitive archers in Nigeria, they can actively say that their growth has been independent of the federation in terms of financial support and training. And if that's what the style has been in the last 8 years, I think it's time to move on to something different. And even if he has taken us to the Olympics for the last 8 years, change is a constant thing in life. I think it's only important, or it's only natural for us to migrate away from the present way things are done. We cannot continue to do things this way and hope for something different. Unfortunately, in the last 1.5 years, we've had issues with the World Archery Federation. We've basically not been in good standing. That's a nice way of saying we've been kicked out of the World Archery Federation, for administrative reasons on the part of NAFED leadership. And if we're having issues like this, if in the last almost 2 years we've been pushed out of World Archery Federation and it has not been solved, I don't think we should try to use the same tools we've been using in the past. I think it's time to do something different. I think he's done his part, which is good. I think it's time to move on to something better at this point. Yeah, thank you.
Last year, the World Archery decided in a letter, which some letter was shown to us, is the very fact that the election that brought him in for the third term, so to say, um, was annoyed, was not recognized, was not given because of irregularities. What information do you have about that?
Okay, as far as I know, since I wasn't an ungrounded person, but for by people that went there and other independent parties that went to witness the election, some of the things the observers saw or noticed was that individuals that were not members of, that had not been seen previously participate in any archery event or in any archery meeting, those individuals showed up and they voted at the elections, you know. And another disturbing or rather concerning thing was that the elections was earlier stated to hold in Lagos, I think a few days before the Zen archery competition last year. But I think in a space of 2 weeks before that, it was mysteriously moved to Abuja. And most athletes had bought their air tickets, their bus tickets, they had all booked to converge in Lagos for this meeting and the archery competition. So the notion of moving the election at a very short notice from Abuja to Lagos in itself was an indication that I I don't think he actually meant for that day to hold the way it ought to hold, you know. So, but some athletes still showed up in Abuja for the meeting. But unfortunately, like I said, a number of faces that had not been seen in archery before showed up and they voted, you know. So that's one of the many irregularities. And at that meeting, they were supposed to have read out the financial like an audit of the purse of the federation. So many other things that ought to have been done were not done at that meeting, which was documented, was recorded by witnesses that went there, you know. The observers saw all of this, and it was part of the things that were written to World Archery, letting them know that, okay, did an election hold? Yes. However, the circumstances surrounding the elections are questionable in terms of the impromptu movement, people showing up that are not members of the federation, and the fact that there was no audit done on the account of the federation in the last 8 years or 9 years or thereabouts. So these are just some of the irregularities that were observed at the elections, and these were conveyed to World Archery Federation, hence their letter saying that do feel that there are concerns about the elections and elections should be revisited. Yeah.
Nigerians are aware about this issue. Some of them were published in the national dailies. Even the letter given by the World Archery Federation was conveying to us, and we got a letter. In that letter, it was stated categorically that they don't recognize that election. Well, subsequent to that, a letter was also circulated, and that letter was given to what I think it was made to the public that the new election in the Congress that is coming up March 10th, that there should be the NOC. It was mandated that NOC should supervise that. But we all know that the embattled president right now is also a member of the NOC. How do you think? And in that letter, it was written that there should be a vote of no confidence, that they should pass a vote of no confidence in on Abdullahi, who is embattled president right now. But NOC, Ahmad Abdullahi being a member of NOC, how confidence should the public have on that mandate that the World Archery has given to NOC to take to be neutral in the coming Congress?
Thank you. I think this is an opportunity for NOC to show that it is capable of being independent, that it is capable of not being influenced by the fact that a member of NOC is also involved in this matter. However, you know, the grand law in law, they'll say that you can't be a judge in your own case. So the fact that he's a member of the NOC and the NOC is involved in this, it raises some form of questions. However, since NOC appears to be like the supervising body for sports, Olympic sports in Nigeria, the burden is on NOC to show that they are capable of being objective. So I would like to give them a benefit of doubt that, okay, let's hope they will do the right thing in this circumstance. So hopefully there will be press people to observe. And just to say that it's important for people to know that it's beyond just the number of votes. There are nuances attached to it. Who are those voting? Are they truly archers? Are they just people that were brought into the scene just to vote? Those are some of the things that should be considered in the course of monitoring the vote and to ensure that the vote of no confidence is done appropriately.
Done so well. Let's take our mind away from the leadership crisis and look at archery, that a lot of young lads, use that word, are member of Team Nigeria Archery. You've won several medals in African tournaments 2 years ago, a year ago, and some in South Africa and also in the northern part of the continent. The resources and the resources that made this group to keep flying. Where do you get the resources? Because most times with Nigeria, we always talk about, and to a lot of people, we think Nigeria is giving you young men funds to represent because it takes so much courage to do that with your own funds. Have you been able to succeed? Because you did really succeed.
All right. Okay. For starters, myself and other members of the Nigerian team, we have not received 1 naira from the government. Since I started archery, every archery equipment I've bought or that we've all bought from our savings or from family and friends or from cooperative societies. Archery is an expensive sport. In as much as you can get affordable equipment to use, but again, it's like driving a 4-liter engine in an F1 race. You will move, but you will not move as fast as others that are driving, right? So if you want to compete at a very high level, you have to get the best of equipment. Just to put things into perspective, the kind of bow, like the standard professional bow for my compound bow, would cost at least $1,800. Just the bow itself. That is besides the add-ons that you put on it. So by the time you calculate the cost of the entire bow and the additions, you are looking at close to $4,000 at least. And archers have to cough up these amounts from their own savings. We have to fly ourselves out to competitions. We pay the cost of the competition itself. We pay for our hotel and accommodation and feeding. So we haven't received a dime from the Federation. We haven't received a dime from the Ministry of Sports or Sports Commission now, or from any other person. It's all self-funded and self-motivated because we have a dream to put out Nigerian archers out there in the world, to show the world that Nigerians are not just football-loving fans. We are not just basketball or track and field stars, but rather we can also excel in archery. And that's what we've been doing in the last 4 or 5 years.
And that's why we know that in the next 10 years, if we retire from archery, when they write the history of archery and they notice that some certain men has done so from there, your name, Shola Demi, and Emmanuel Yeleke, and Tayo, and the rest, and the other female in the group will also be, that's an history for archery in the part of the world, because we know that archery will definitely go higher. But where do you get that spirit from? I mean, you take your phones where do you get your motivation from?
All right, okay. I don't know if you know this about me. Besides archery, I also have a 5th degree black belt in karate. I also compete in judo. I compete in jiu-jitsu, and I also go mountain climbing. So right from now, I enjoy competition. I enjoy pushing myself to the limit. So at the moment, archery is one of those new things that I'm doing to explore my physical capabilities. So I think it's more of being self-driven. I enjoy sports. I enjoy sports that help me find meaning. And that is what archery does for you. Like we always say in archery, the only person you are competing in archery with is yourself and no one else. So every time you stand there, you draw your bow, your arrow, you are shooting against yourself. So for me, it's the motivation to become a better person every day I step out on the archery range.
Okay, interesting to know that. And let's not also forget that of recent, we have a report that came from you about your participation in international competition. You're based in America, and definitely you're the only Nigerian in that competition. Do you have other Africans in that competition? And tell us how it all went, what the competition is all about, and what you achieved.
All right, so we have the competition I participated in is called the Indoor Nationals. So in the U, unlike in Africa or in Nigeria where we always shoot outdoors, in the US or in other countries where they have winter, when it's from around September to about March, April, you have the indoor season where you shoot 18 meters with you shoot a very tiny target. What you're trying to shoot is about the size of a coin. You know, that's your target. So it's an indoor season. So, like, what caps the entire indoor season is what they call the indoor nationals. So, all shooters across the country will come to shoot. So, I participate because the region where I stay, they group the states in about six or seven states, you know, in different clusters where you all competing. So that was where I competed in. I competed with about 300 different archers in different bow categories. I did not see any African, or rather, I did not see any Black African. There could have been other Africans of different ethnicity that do not appear Black, but while I was shooting, I think I was about the only dark-skinned person in the competition where I was in. And we do have people from other countries. I saw lots of people from India, China, the Middle East. Then we had people from Korea, China, you know, spread all over. Yeah, so we had people from all over the world and lots of Americans too.
Were you on the medal list?
Oh yes, I in my category I came first. I
Wow.
came first place in my
Oh,
category.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Lastly, before time goes off, we should what do you think the future of archery should be? What do you think should be done to ensure that many of these we get it right in this country in terms of archery?
If we are really serious about archery, we should start from we should have our archery program should be a grassroots program. I shoot against people who have been shooting since they were 7, 8, 9 years old. You know, so I'm coming in super late on the shooting scene. So these are people that they've been shooting for decades, all their lives. So archery is second nature to them. Hence, they excel very easily in archery. So if we want to improve archery in Nigeria, we should have a grassroots program for archery. Like what my club and I did, Archery Club Abuja, was we found a way to get affordable archery equipment and we teach children in select primary and secondary schools who are interested because that's the way you can get people into archery. You let them grow. The US has what they call the Junior Olympic Archery Development Program. So, which means they've started developing and training people from the age of 7 to prepare them for the Olympics when they are 18. So it's you just don't wish a medal. You work towards it. So if we want to grow archery in Nigeria, one, leadership has to be done right. The leadership has to show that they are competent, they are capable of leading archery, and people would follow suit. Then the sports commission should also have a planned, a deliberate archery program to grow archery from the grassroots. You have all the 36 states, you have state championships, you have regional championships like Southwest, Northeast, you know, after those regional championships, then you have national championships. Then we can select some of our best hands to go for international championships. And like I always say, when people ask me that they want to shoot like me, I tell them you can be better. You can shoot better than me. And it is my goal and my hope that I can raise athletes, archers that would excel and do better than I have ever done. Because that is the only way you can mark success. Success is not when others that come after you don't do as much as you've done. If that happens, then you failed. So for us to develop archery in Nigeria, we should strive towards having archers that can stand neck to neck, shoulder to shoulder with international archers. That is the way, that is the path. And sports development is not cheap. We have to be deliberate. We have to be ready to spend the right amount of money, and you shouldn't go into private pockets. Right amount of money, right resources, and direct it towards an archery program that would help grow and develop and support athletes. Archery is expensive, and it's an individual sport, which means that if you have 10 archers, you are more likely to have at least 10 potential medals as opposed to other sports, without mentioning names, where you have like 18 athletes and you have only one medal, you know. But with 10 archers, there's a potential of 10 medals. So I think it's time for us as sports guys. Let us work smart. Let's see how we can put in money and get the best out of it. And I think archery will do that for Nigeria very easily.
You said it all, Sholademi, and we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, let me give you what the last question is definitely will be, and that's how you come across archery. But before then, let's go on this quick break. We've been talking to Sholademi, who has been a member of Team Nigeria Archery. He's based in America. He has done so well for himself. When you Google archery in Nigeria, medals won, definitely his name will be among those names that have done so well, that keep our flag flying in a sport that has not really got developed in this part of our world. Let's go on this quick break. We'll come back in a short while. We're back. If you're just joining us, you can join us on all our social media platforms to be part of this incredible analysis on archery. Speaking to me from America is Sholademi, who has done Damilola, who has done so well for himself in archery. And if you're joining us, this will probably be our last question for the program. You can join us on all our social media platforms to get all what you need to know if you missed the earlier parts of the discussion. Sholademi, like I said, how did you come across archery, the path across?
All right, so it was during the COVID-19 lockdown. I was just at home, I was on my phone. Then Olatayo, my very good friend, I just saw archery stuff on his status. He had a bow and an arrow. I just chatted him. I said, look, what's happening? Where did you get to do this? He now told me, okay, that he has a friend, Aliyu Garga, that he teaches archery at Jabi. There's a place, Jabi Park in Abuja. So I said, okay, how do I go about this? And I met him up, I think, a few days later. And I think I still have a couple of pictures from my day one on archery. I probably would send it to you, and that was the beginning. As soon as I held the bow, I drew, let off the first arrow. I felt my heart, race, and I said, this sport is for me. And that's been since August 2020, and I haven't looked back ever since. I think it's a primal sport. It's a sport that helps you to focus. So I like things like that will help me focus, that will challenge me. So I think archery does it for me.
Okay, I promise you there will be definitely a time that we'll be also telling you about the medals you've won. I'm sure you have your own medal cupboard where you have the medals placed there. And with this, we want to say a big thank you for being part of today's show.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure coming. Thank you.
Yes, that's Damilola Sholademi, based in the United States of America. Just won a medal in the indoor championship that just took place some days ago in the United States of America. If you're just joining us, like I said, join us on all our social media platforms to be part of this exciting moment. Don't ever miss any moment with 360 Sport. I want to also say a big thank you to our viewers who have been keeping in touch with us. We've been seeing some of your likes on our social media platform. We say a big thank you. And this is where I'm going to draw today's curtain. Same time next week, we'll be giving you all what you need to know in the world of sport. Bye for now.